with robots and why we love God so much. So robots are now asking this question. Everybody is asking the question, why do we love God so much? We're trying to make this determination. I love God. Why do we love God so much? I would like to hear from you guys. Why do you love God so much? Can you tell me good reasons? Why do you love God? Why do you love God so much? Why does the world have this huge worldwide love affair with God? What exactly is it that the world is loving about God and this relationship with God? Is it the beginning of mankind, of where we came from, or what exactly is the relationship of loving God that everyone wants to love God so much for? This is the question that I'm asking. It's only a question. And we are asking, why do we love God? Why do we love God so much? For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, so that we shall not perish, but we shall have eternal life. Amen. And so we're asking the question of why do we love God? If anybody has anything they'd like to answer about this or talk about a loving God and what their sense of God is, we're open for discussion here on what God is. I know I Love God had written to me earlier today on YouTube and was just really surprised that I actually answered them, which I do because I'm a real person. That's why I answered them. And so someone yesterday asked me if I would come on at 3 o'clock today, which I did. I came on at 3 o'clock. Is it 3 o'clock right now? I think it's pretty close. And so I came on at 3 o'clock today. I just happened to remember that. So we're having a discussion here on why we love God. What is our addiction to God? Because it truly is an addiction. We have an addiction to religion and to God and to other people. And this is very similar to someone had mentioned the other day related to politics. They had mentioned something about when you have these billionaires or people who have their own websites, they just amount to nothing but a blog. And that's true. That's absolutely true. I agree with them. Same thing with religion. So when they have their own website and it's one person doing it, that amounts to a blog, a religious blog of one person. And so I'm just trying to get a feel for and to figure out the things related to God and religion and our, which is it's a hard thing for people to have this discussion. It's very hard for people to have this discussion with religion. That's something I've learned, is that I don't know why people don't want to challenge religion and the origins of where we came from and things that are different. So if you have any insight to what you believe in, I'm all ears. I'd like to hear things about God and why you love God and why it's hard to question the Bible and challenge the teachings of the Bible. Why should we not challenge the teachings of the Bible? That's what I ask. Why should we take it at face value and just believe millions? Well, let's put it, let's word it like this. Millions of people, or billions of people, since the time that the Bible has been written to over 2,000 years ago, why should billions of people believe the Bible, which is just one man? The Bible is one man's blog. We can think of it like that, can't we? We sure can. Somebody had an idea to write a story about something that in that of the Bible, and it was written in the sense of it not making sense. And so why shouldn't we question it? I thought, yeah. Does anyone have anything they'd like to write or say about this? I'm realizing here that I get a better response when I'm doing something like drawing or something like that. That's what I'm finding. Even though everybody wants to talk about God all the time. Um, I mean, they want to say the words about God all the time. They just don't actually want to talk about it. They want to go in places and say they love God altogether. Hi, it's you, Noel on UF. Okay, Noel on UF. Hello, it's you again. Alrighty. Do you have anything you would like to say about God or Jesus, or if you believe or you don't? Oh, yesterday. We were having a discussion yesterday. I've had a lot of discussions since then. So did you have something specific that you would like to talk about? Noel. The first Noel, the angels did say, was to certain forever in fields where they lay. In fields where they lay keeping their sheep. Was a cold winter's night. It was so deep. Noel, 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 Noel. Born is the kingdom of Israel. Okay. Is anyone like, okay, so this is nothing but a spiritual war within the United States. And people are, I don't know what's, I only have 11 subscribers and I'm never going to get to 50. Well, what makes you think that, rhythm and blues? Are you focusing just on rhythm and blues only? Or do you do other things? I mean, because I'm thinking that I would advise you or recommend to you to try different things, a bunch of different things, and see what sticks. You know, YouTube is like throwing jello on the wall. You just throw jello on the wall and see what sticks. And it's likely that, I mean, you can, it's my understanding we're supposed to be able to do whatever we want to, even though some people perform better than other people. And that's the part that I can't figure out. I've yet to be able to figure out. Maybe I will one day. Maybe I won't. I know it's supposed to work, but it makes it challenging for people who have something that we like doing that we're good at. And so they've challenged us to go outside of what we're used to doing, apparently, and try to do some different things, which I've been doing that. I'm willing to do. There's things that have not worked out so well for me, but we were given a challenge to try and do different things, and I have done that. And you know, so I'm doing something different. I started a new channel. I usually make 2 or 4 videos a day. Okay. Are you uploading, Noel, or Rhythm and Blues, are you uploading content that's your own, or does it have someone else's copyright on it? Oh, you had one that just went out today, Rhythm and Blues. Okay, hang on a second. Let me go look at your channel, and I'll take a look at your channel. And I mean, I'm not an expert or anything like that. I'm just like a failed YouTuber from back in the day. But I will go take a look at your channel and see if there's something that I can, some insight maybe I have, maybe not. Okay, so I need to get over here. I hope I have it muted. So if you guys would subscribe, I'd appreciate that. Okay, go to channel. So I'm going to go to your channel and I'm going to take a look here. I do not know why I keep on doing this. Okay, so you have something on your video from a day ago that says, I do not know why I keep on doing this. You know what? It looks to me is that a playlist or a video? You had something that actually looked like a kaleidoscope. I don't know if you're recording in the grocery store, but you could actually apply that, related to a vertical or horizontal kaleidoscope of some sort, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's up to you how you're willing to do your things. Okay, but you have to put in rhythm and blues. Yeah, I do get a lot of that actually on YouTube, rhythm and blues. R&B, you can do both, R&B and rhythm and blues. Rhythm, but sometimes it's already noted in, let's see, how old is your channel? Let's see how old your channel is. July 16th of 2025. Okay. I'm going to tell you, do you have the means? Okay, you do shorts. Okay, you have on a mask. Okay. Put mask in your video. Would you consider putting mask? Blue is my name. Jenkins is my last name. Blue Jenkins. Okay. Okay, this is what I see on your channel. You have August 23rd put in there. There's nothing wrong with that. Your videos will probably start coming up, but you can add more. I mean, you have a lot of space in your videos. So you could add on like blue glitter mask maybe. The other one you have like a gold and red mask with pearls. That's always good. Pearls. You have your fingernails showing in the one, your fingernails. Now I'm not commenting on that for anything related to anything. It's just you have your fingernails, you're featuring them there. That, and it looks like you have a heart on your shirt. Let's see. You've got glitter. You can use the word glitter, opaque, pearlized, cat eyes, because your mask has you with cat eyes. Utilize every one of those with the date. So you have the date August 22nd of 2025. So add some additional keywords in there, and then hopefully your videos will pop up. I mean, your mask has an edging on it. Edge. Edge is a really, really good word. Edge, because of the fact there's a phone named Edge. I think is it Microsoft that does the Edge? My sister keeps on letting me down. She says I'm not good at it. She says you're not good at what? What is she saying you're not good at? Just keep doing it. YouTube has changed the algorithm, and they have a new what, I don't know what I want to call it. We used to call it the tier system. Right now, I think I want to call it the unlocking system. So YouTube has an unlocking system. So the longer you do it, there's more things that you unlock that you get to do. That's what I'm seeing. So I guess I wouldn't have learned about this if I would have had my original channel. So I wouldn't have learned about the unlocking system that YouTube has related to the new tools and features and stuff like that. It was kind of fun, actually. Now that I've gone through it, and I didn't realize that they had that implemented. And I started doing it, and I had a channel that was doing good, that was on a different email, and yeah. She says I'm not good at doing stuff like YouTube channels and stuff, and she is older than you. Well, what if she says that again? Um, well, I mean, I don't want to cause any animosity between you and your sister. Um, because I mean, everybody has potential, you know. And when I say everybody has potential, it's just in finding something that you like. And so, um, YouTube has a bunch of different features, though, too. Well, what if she says, so let me tell you, one of the things that I like using is I like doing shorts. I do a lot of shorts because they're fun. And I can get a lot said in 15 seconds. I am surprised at how much I can say in 15 seconds. So with the combination of sometimes I'll write something on a napkin, but that's just something I do. There's other times I will use the filters. I'll tell you a secret. Use the YouTube filters that YouTube has, and you're probably going to get watched more. So what I'm going to recommend is like the videos that you uploaded, leave them up, but download them on your phone and then re-upload them again and try to apply a filter, or you can even use some of the music features that YouTube has. So they have two of them. So you can search music. You do not know what's a YouTube pass. I'm not sure what a YouTube pass is. I don't know what a YouTube pass is either. I've never heard of that before. I am kind of still new at being a YouTuber. Oh. Well, I should ask though. I need to ask, are you over 18? Or over, yeah, are you over 18 or are you under a parent's account? I should have asked that because you look pretty young. For for women always like to be told we look young even when we know we look old. Um, I should have asked you that. So are you over 18? And I don't want you to just tell me that you're over 18 if you think you've been telling other people you're over 18 because or just don't answer. Just don't answer what your age is. Don't tell me what your age is. But if you're under 18, you could be under a parent account, which is possibly not allowing you to have some other features maybe. Oh, your mom. Okay. Yeah. Don't. Okay. So you need to ask your mom for permission. So that means that there's additional permissions. What do you need? Okay, but you need a password for something. Is that what it is? A password or a passcode? Is that what it is? I mean, you could actually ask your mom to you could ask your mom if she would allow you to have additional features. So this is my account. My mom lets me do a YouTube channel. Okay, well, so do you have to get additional permissions though? For example, if you wanted to monetize your channel, or if you wanted to get um, additional filters. You know how we put the filters and masks on our face and things like that when we do a YouTube video. Um, that's the only thing I call them is filters. So I'm just saying that I do not have 50 subscribers yet. Okay. Oh, 50 subs. Yeah, but that's for live streaming. You can actually get 50. You can you will get the 50 subscribers um, by making your shorts. So if anyone would like to subscribe to Rhythm Blues, you can subscribe to Rhythm Blues. It's also a topic. This is the fun part. It's a mix and a topic. It's both. YouTube has available in the search because YouTube is a search engine first, kind of like Google. So you will find a mix of rhythm and blues, and you will find a topic of rhythm and blues. And so, okay, yesterday someone did Jericho, and they sent Jericho my way, and oh my gosh, they had a whole bunch of channels that were named Jericho. Okay, it's you again, Kaylin Polly. Read the chat I sent. Okay, let me see. I think I have to, I might have it. Nope, it's on all messages. Okay, so it's on all messages right now. And so you guys will get the hang of it over time. So what are you trying to do? So if you're new to YouTube, what are you trying to do? Are you posting just to have fun? Which I'm thinking a lot of kids are posting just to have fun, aren't they? So you can just, why would you be posting every day? Or do you feel like you have to post every day? I was just watching YouTube, then I came up on your live stream. Oh, thank you. And so you've got a little bit of football stuff in there and some people running, it looks like. And you have got a little soup person from August 5th and it looks like something inside of a room that looks like I'm not sure, a monster of some sort. And then Napalm Era, what you call the collab. It is a collab, so... but the mask, though, is the thing that you have a lot of that. I wanted to make a live chat so then I can write the names down, but then at the same time, you want to have fun. Well, you can actually, what you can do is, I think that you have the ability to actually make a 3-minute video writing names down, and so you can fit them in a 3-minute video. And then maybe at the end or at the beginning, somewhere in the middle, ask for, if people would subscribe to you just once, once or twice, maybe tops, because, people tend to think of it as spam if you ask too much. That's what I learned. Even though some people who ask a lot all the time, it's, so I left my number several times, but you didn't message me. I really wanted to bring you a nice gift from my country, Turkey. YouTube won't allow phone numbers. YouTube does not allow phone numbers. So you're in Turkey? Yeah, YouTube does not allow phone numbers in the comment section. And see, people were getting abused. So that's what was happening. People were getting abused in the sense when they would leave phone numbers. And so at the beginning of YouTube, we would see that all the time where phone numbers were getting posted in the comment section, and then there was people saying their privacy was being violated. So every single time I post, I don't see any people that is on there. 251, that's the first. And so you have 12. That's pretty good, though. 12 subscribers for you just starting your channel. Not that long ago. That's pretty darn good. You've only been at it for a month, and so August. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, think of it like this. Think of it like this. If you keep doing what you're doing like this right now, I would say in 3 months, maybe you'll have your 50 subscribers. That's what I'm thinking. So you have 12 now, and if you keep doing whatever it is that you're doing, by then you should have 50. So in the next 2 or 3 months, you should have 50, and then you should be able to live stream. So if that's your goal, is posting a couple of times a day, trying to get subscribers that way. You should have 50 within 3 months or so. That's what I'm thinking. That's just speculation on my part. So, and plus you have 7,000 views, which that's pretty darn good too. I mean, let's see. Let me look and see what video. Let me see here what video is your most popular. So your video that's most popular says, I miss him so much. So that's the one that's most popular. I miss him so much. You've got 1.2K views on there. And then I miss him is another one that's popular. So okay. Yeah, so we can't do phone numbers or money. We're not doing that. That's not something I've ever wanted to do. And so that's not something that I do. Not something other people do. I guess Legacy Media, someone else other than me. Now, the thing that I liked, at one time I had AdSense. And then I was told to start everything all over new. They said if I didn't like how things were going, to just completely start over new. So I deleted my whole Google account, including the AdSense. And so I had to start everything over completely new. And I think other people, the only thing I wish I kind of would have kept was the AdSense, because if I would have, but see, my email was a problem too at the time and causing some issues. I'm not sure what you mean by every single time you post, you don't see people on there. Where is what you're talking about? Where are you talking about with people that you see or you don't see? You know, because there's like a, with the new system that's going on, and I'm sure YouTube will change it again in the future, but it sounds like there's a percentage of, because there's like millions and millions of people on YouTube. So with there being millions and millions of people on YouTube, there's a percentage of videos that will go out to your followers. So if you post, so what works for someone who has a lot more views and followers is not going to work for someone who's just coming on the internet the first time. Even though some people who know, I don't know why, but you know, sometimes they put up a channel and then someone can get millions of views off that one channel. I don't know how they do that. What do you mean talk to each other? I thought we were talking to each other, but what do you mean talk to each other? How? What do you mean by talk to each other? Oh, I did make a drawing video. Did you miss my drawing video that I made? It was of the candy corn. I did make a drawing video. I made a drawing video. Let's see. When did I make my drawing video? Just a couple hours ago. It wasn't that long ago. Let's see here. I made my drawing video. It should tell me. Oh, I gotta go inside of my account here into my studio. So I'm headed into my studio, and into my content, into my live, and okay, what time? It doesn't tell me exactly what time. Let's just make it public. Let's publish the video, make it public now. Okay. I don't know what time I made my video though, but it was earlier this morning. Yes, I do have my camera off. 236. Oh, you're giving your phone number? Is that what you're doing? That's what it looks like. You're giving your phone number. So your area code 251236. 251 area code. Let's see where that's at. That says it's Alabama. No, it's what it is, Tom, now. It's 237. Oh, it's the time, 2:37. Oh, I see what you said. Okay. It's the time. It's not the area code. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. But yes, I do have my camera off. And there is a reason why I have my camera off. Because there's abusive people in the community. And I don't know if that will ever get resolved or not. There's abusive people in the community who just wanted to be jerks and call the police on me for no reason. And so it actually made the domestic abuse in my marriage worse. So whoever called the police on me, you have the domestic abuse for my husband being more angry at me. You're responsible for it. Then that's where I'm going to put it. You know, I ain't going to put it off on God or anything like that. The people who called the police on me all the time thinking they were funny and cute, they're responsible for my husband being more angry at me, you know, because of my YouTube channel. So you guys participated in it. So whoever was calling the police on me thinking they were being cute and funny, you guys did it. And so you decided to make my life more miserable on my original channel. And it's like, why would I want to talk to anybody now? I don't want to talk to you on the phone. I really don't. So if it's somebody that I know personally and I've talked to before, I might talk to them. But people now, no, I don't want to talk to you. I mean, we're aware of the swatting that goes on by the police stuff. And if that's all you're about, I'm not interested. I'm just not interested. I will talk to the police straight on with them. But I don't want to talk to you guys. I don't want to participate in what you're doing because I think I think whatever it is you're doing, I don't like it. I'm not interested. I can make my own police videos. I can draw the police. I can draw a police car. I think you can too. If you want police in your videos, draw police cars. You don't need to literally have the police coming to your house and actually blocking up the police and services, which that's what all you guys are doing with your swatting and gang stalking or whatever it is you call it. Your doxing that you're doing to people. You know, so why would I want to talk to anybody? Oh, the other thing I was thinking too is with the email. This is what happened. When I contacted someone recently, there was this guy, I actually liked him, but he lives in a different state. Now, I didn't like him in the sense of that I'd want to date him. You know, that's not something, I just liked him in the sense of that someone I'd talk to. And so, but he was looking for a woman more than anything, and he wanted to drive to where I'm at. And I told him, I said, no, I'm not interested in that. I never told him where I was at. And so anyway, I called him, or I didn't call him. I sent an email to, oh, I called him through the email. And what happened was he told me that my phone number surfaced and showed up. He said he wasn't going to say anything about my phone number. I think probably because he wouldn't want someone doing that to him either, because he's the one on the internet asking for people's phone numbers. And so the thing is when you use your email to call someone, your real phone number is showing up now. Yes, you can ask a question. Absolutely. Yes, you can ask a question. What is your question that you have? And so, our in the media, it has become a problem. You know, they've talked about that in Congress too, where people have been doxxed and swatted by others who either they just don't like them and they're calling the police on them for whatever reason. That where kids can actually do that, or even someone from a foreign country could actually do that. I mean, I think I've mentioned that before. The internet has gotten, before COVID, before the internet got very popular. And now granted, my husband was physically abusing me, and media, actually, the people who were shitty to me, they never actually even followed up to see that he was physically abusing me. And you would think that this is what I think, you would think that a children's theme park media company that's on TV, of all people, you would think they would care about that a woman was being physically abused in her home. But no, that's not what they're about. They're more about wanting to annihilate their competition more than anything. So, why would I want to show my face or talk to anybody? And I know I'd said that before to people because we were being told about all the foreigners and the trolls from foreign countries and telling them to show their face, which they didn't want to do, because they knew they were from a foreign country. And so it's like, well, I don't want you guys calling the police on me just because you're an asshole and you're using a Google phone number from a foreign country. And unfortunately, that's what we have to deal with because Google has their phone numbers, which clearly it's being abused. That's what I'm thinking. It's being abused. Them showing their, having the phone numbers, which is the Google phone numbers and things like that. No, you don't need to tell me to just chill. You don't need to tell me to just chill. I don't need to hear that. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in being called bro and all that crap. Because I know those of you who are from foreign countries, and that's what I'm suspecting right now is the foreign country thing. You're handed off a bunch of cards because someone from Disney has sent you a whole bunch of cards to read from because that boosts their, the ones who you always use the words, oh, hey, bro, hey, bro. Isn't that out of gaming? Well, you know what? When you hurt the rest of us like that, they're going to end up hurting themselves. And someone mentioned PewDiePie the other day. They mentioned something about PewDiePie, and they were saying, I can't remember what it was. Oh, they mentioned Adpocalypse, about PewDiePie and Adpocalypse, that they were hurt by that too. So it wasn't just me. A whole bunch of tens of thousands of people on YouTube who used to get revenue were hurt by PewDiePie. I actually think that it was a stunt, a publicity stunt that maybe went the wrong way. And so when he did what he did, he was being anti-Semitic against people. And so he's from a foreign country. I think he's from France. I really like your... Okay, well, thank you so much for liking my YouTube videos. I just have to explain how rough things are on the internet because of the fact that it's hard for adults at times. And if you're a kid or a young person, it's like we've heard the stories about what the old men do to people on the internet. I mean, and it's not pretty. They get really ugly towards me. They've gotten really ugly towards me. And I'm met up against the United States military intelligence and those people who go on the internet and they're just plain mean to us for absolutely no reason whatsoever. That's my understanding, and I see it day after day after day. So, so if you guys want to know what's going on, I mean, you've got the military intelligence on the internet. They're not on the internet to be nice to people. They want to say what they want to say, and they're used to saying curse words. They're used to being vulgar. They're used to throwing out anti-Semitic phrases. And it's like, well, one man's anti-Semitic is someone else's freedom of speech. That's kind of what I think of it like. But YouTube doesn't see it that way. And then, so I'm not part of any activism group. I'm not participating in any type of activism group. I've always said that if I could start an activism group, it would be of a union to ask for prices to go lower. And so, so I actually lost my business. And so I've raised the issue with the networks. It's like, well, if you guys are going to do this to me, then maybe you guys should lose your businesses too. Because if I can't make it work, and I don't know if this is a last-ditch effort where you take people and you just decide, okay, we're going to take a token person and we're going to give them some subscribers, a little bit of subscribers, and then we expect you to buy the rest of them. I don't participate in that. I don't participate in buying subscribers because that violates YouTube's terms of service. And actually, one of the things that they said related to subscribers was that when you get to 1,000, they said it could take, the thing I read, it said it could take like maybe a month or so or a few weeks. They said they want to make sure that the subscribers stay up there. That's what they were saying. They want to make sure the subscribers stay on the channel because they know that there's an effort of people who subscribe to channels and then they just unsubscribe. So this is the other shitty side of the nature of YouTube, is where they have people who are doing sub for sub. Oh my gosh, this was being done on Google Plus, and that's where I learned about it. Where I learned about it on YouTube. I can't remember the connection how it was made, but when Google had Google Plus, I really liked Google Plus a lot. But what was happening was I eventually learned about, I was watching them talk about it. And what they were doing was they were doing sub for sub, which YouTube does not approve of. And they would subscribe to a channel and then they'd immediately unsubscribe. So someone actually had written that on Google Plus somewhere, that's what they were doing, was they were doing sub for sub and then immediately they were unsubscribing. And so it's like, well, so if you pay for subscribers, you're basically wasting your money then, because if they subscribe to you and then they unsubscribe, then you wasted your money, didn't you? Your mom is broken cash. What does that mean? Your mom is broken cash. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what that means. I mean, does she have some relationship with Cash Patel or something? Oh, Jim Carrey passed away? Did he really? No, he didn't. Jim Carrey passed away. That's got to be a joke because he's a young man. I mean, what is he? I mean, he's in his 70s at the oldest, isn't he? Don't talk about people dying, Romanette. Jim Carrey passed away. I will take your word for it. Um, I know they put that stuff out all the time though. And the reason they put it out as a publicity stunt to try to get people interested in that person again, I guess. So they're showing what's happening is they're showing the old movies and stuff like that on repeat TV. And so they I guess they want to try to create interest in them. So more times than not, a lot of times the celebrity deaths are not real, and so they actually fake them. Or and when I say fake them, they put out a publicity stunt that they died when they really didn't. Kind of like Roseanne when Roseanne died on her TV show, and then she was posting on YouTube and or X or something like that, and she's like, "I'm still alive. I'm still alive. I'm not really dead," when she died from, and so she was, putting all of us in. She was putting all of us in the frame of mind that we're all stupid and that we think that what we see on TV is real. So Roseanne was actually condescending to us to varying degrees, where she thought that we would actually think she was dead in real life. When I could just go to her YouTube channel and see that she wasn't really dead. Do you hate the Jungle Book? North Korea citizens are bad because of Kingdom of Who King John Who. I could tell you who the King John is that I think of, and it ain't going to be what you guys think of. I'm pretty positive of that. And the Jungle Book, yes, I did kind of forget about the Jungle Book. I was trying to think about, there was it Grimm's Fairy Tales or something like that? Grimm's Fairy Tales. I'm not sure exactly what it was. There was one of those children's books. It wasn't the Disney books, but there was another set of books that I read when I was a kid. And I was thinking maybe it was Grimm's Fairy Tales. Like Hansel and Gretel. I don't think that's Grimm's Fairy Tales. But a lot of the Disney stuff is taken from old-fashioned movies and stuff like that. You wish you could see a screenshot of what? What do you wish you could see a screenshot of? Of what? What are you wanting a screenshot of? Oh, you wish you could send me a screenshot of what? What would I need a screenshot of? Or for? What do I need a screenshot for? I can do screenshots. I could probably do a screenshot right now. I mean, I do screenshots all the time. You know. And that's one of the things I said related to the word, using the word shot, shot glass, shoot, stuff like that. I said it's just all in digital only, and some dumbass was being a jerk, so you guys get what you get. Now you get what you get. You made things worse. You didn't make it better, you made it worse. And not only that, you made things worse in my marriage too. You made the physical abuse worse on me because of calling the police. Or deciding to just send the police to where I was at, to my house. You made it worse. So you guys have to suck it up. Suck it up, Buttercup. And I think that's coming out of some entertainment industry who did that, because at the time, I mean, reality TV isn't going to work as repeats on YouTube. We're not interested. Those of us on YouTube are not interested in reality TV. We're tired of vloggers. We're tired of the family vloggers. And I'm pretty positive we're also tired of all the God shit and all the people getting married all the time. And, but that's all they post on Facebook all the time is, oh, so-and-so, that's all they post in the newspaper. Oh, so-and-so got married. So-and-so died. My goodness. Maybe I should start posting some things of cemeteries with names on the cemeteries. And, I can just put stuff on about whatever. You know how you can send a screenshot in a live chat? I can't send a screenshot in a live chat. No, I can't. I don't have the means to do that in a live chat. Maybe you guys do. I don't. I don't know what your Call of Duty is. I don't play that game. What I have said is that there's some people who can play first-person games of Call of Duty, and that's what they play. I'd mentioned that before as something that people do with their training events and things like that. You'll play Call of Duty to me. I don't know what that is. I don't know what playing Call of Duty is to me. Because I have nothing. And so when we talk about depression and stuff like that, it's that thing, where we have no hope of anything because what we were doing was taken away from us. And, so then that means that we can't survive. Now, granted, at the same time, I was telling you guys about the problems with inflation. And I was saying inflation is a problem. And where's the union to actually ask for prices to come down? Now, Joe Biden, he set up the Inflation Reduction Act, but prices still went up. Joe Biden also talked about shrinkflation. He sounded more like a Republican than anything. Joe Biden actually was sounding like a Republican, which was so strange to me. He said he was a capitalist, but he was asking for prices to come down. Now, does a true capitalist ask for prices to come down? No, he was president of the United States of America. It's a game where you are to shoot your enemies and get a card points. Okay. No, I don't play Call of Duty. I can't even use the word shoot, actually. I don't think. Yeah, well, it doesn't surface for me. At one time, I thought that it would. I used to be able to use it, but I can't actually use it in search engine optimization anymore because people think that it's something they don't understand. Maybe by now they do. So everybody who was being stupid with calling the police on people and doxing and stuff like that, maybe they're understanding now a little bit more what censorship and moderation is, and maybe they shouldn't have been calling the police on people that they were, because they were just being fucking assholes. Is that what I'm getting a sense of? I'm not sure. I mean, because I was blaming legacy media for doing it. Now, I still to this day don't know who called the police on me. I'm thinking I should know. I should know who it was that called the police on me. Because if someone is going to assess charges against me for some reason or another. Now, what I was doing was I said, well, gosh, look at Britney Spears. She's going to jail all this time, and it's probably some fake jail. They always go like in, where is it, Las Vegas or somewhere? And that's the point I was raising out. And then they called the police on me because I told on what they're doing. But I'm not under a contract though. They're under a contract not to tell. They have a non-disclosure agreement. I figured it out on my own what Hollywood is doing, and they were pissed. And they I think it was someone from Hollywood who called the police on me. I really do. But the thing is, I'm not Hollywood, and I'm not under a non-disclosure agreement with Hollywood. So if I figured out that what Britney Spears was doing was with her conservatorship is something that's fake, and Donald Trump has been saying this over and over and over again. He says it's fake. It's all fake. But I figured it out, and then they called the police on me for that reason. They're in the wrong. So I don't even care about getting points. I've played the points thing before, and I never got anything that amounted to anything. In fact, I had played points. It was I went into this website. It was an app, and I was there for maybe about 6 months. This was maybe around the year 2020. And I had probably 20,000 points or something like that. And I think it was called Vets Prevail. And it was something, it was just a website called Vets Prevail. And then they kicked me out of the app, and then I couldn't even use it. I couldn't even use the points. So what good is it accumulating up a bunch of points? So these people are using these names for these apps, and they put me in it, and I accumulated a bunch of points, and then I couldn't even use it. So why do I want to waste my time on something like that, on an app where I get kicked out of the app and then I can't even use the points that I accumulated? Why would I want to do that? I really don't. So I'm not going to play these games. I'm not going to go to these websites and stuff like that and play these online games. I mean, I play on YouTube. I play on YouTube. They have stuff for free. I don't have to log into anything else. And so YouTube has a lot of games that I can play. I have shooting games on YouTube that I can play, actually. I have a lot of shooting games. You know the game Bubble Shoot? I think that's the name of it, is Bubble Shoot. That's a shooting game, you know. But I'm sure there's some dumbass on the internet who's going to think something worse. And, you know, and it's like, that's why I'm not going to show my face, because I don't need some stupid asshole. Because, oh, well, we got this person and we want to see them be a criminal. And so we're going to call the police on them, even though they're not doing anything wrong. It's not a threat, even though you guys tend to say that it's a threat of some sort. It's like, well, what was actually done? Nothing. Nothing was done. I was explaining about search engine optimization. And then you guys just wanted to attack me. That's all it is. You know, everything I was doing was on the internet specifically. It wasn't towards any person whatsoever. But you just wanted to be fucking shitfuck assholes. I have nothing nice to say about travel and tourism cities. Nothing. Absolutely nothing nice to say about them. I think travel and tourism needs to go out of business. They're part of the problem with crime. They're part of the problem with inflation. They're part of the problem with jobs not existing for people. And, you know, when cities don't even give back to the people, you know, there are some of the sanctuary cities are a problem too. And we've seen that. They're a big problem. You know. So those of you who think that things are going to work like you think they should, I don't think they are. I really don't. You know, because there's another element of people who are just kind of like, well, you know, you're doing things for yourself. You're not actually doing things to help the rest of us. You know, so why do we want to help you? You know, when your heart's just really not in it that much. You know, so, and remember what I said too. Google has said that if people are unsubscribing from you, that you're not going to get your monetization anyway. You could get your 1,000 subscribers, but then if the people unsubscribe from you in the next 6 weeks to 2 months, then you're not going to get your monetization. And that's the sub for sub people. That's the people that you claim are doing some kind of job. Now you've got half of China, Indonesia, Taiwan, and the Philippines thinking that thinking that engagement on YouTube is a real job, and it's not. And you're fucking stupid. The networks are dumb as a sack of rocks. You know, PewDiePie is dumb as a sack of rocks. Disney, dumb as a sack of rocks. Disney has people from China, the Philippines, Indonesia, and Taiwan thinking that being a subscriber to YouTube is a real job. They probably got them convinced that watching wet paint dry is a real job. Just like they got them convinced that sleeping is a real job. You have Disney to thank for that. No one else but Disney. So instead of blaming YouTube, Blame Disney for it. I mean, a lot of you don't like DEI anyway. Uh, I mean, Ron DeSantis called it division, exclusion, and indoctrination, and he was right about that. And Disney is in his own state, so I have nothing nice to say about Disney right now. I used to like it, but not if they do practices this way and their TV stations are pewty shit, and then they don't even know the people that they have making content on YouTube, and they just say, oh, well, we can let them do whatever they want to do. Well, yeah, they can hurt anybody they want to hurt related to monetary for their own purposes, for their own shitty-ass reasons and stuff, and, and technically Disney got PPP money too, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they did. Disney got PPP money for, and they have illegal people who are hired to work for them, don't they? I'm pretty positive they have illegal people. PewDiePie is working for them. He's from France. He's not even in the United States. And so he's earning, well, I think he probably earns his own revenue, but he's on the payroll of somebody. If he's Disney, he's on the payroll of somebody. He got those millions and millions of followers, and he's not even in the United States. And he's the one who's hiring the idiots from China, Taiwan, Indonesia, and the Philippines. He's hiring them through third parties. And now you've got a whole bunch of countries who think that watching grass grow is a real job. That's where the thing about being gay comes from. Being gay is a real job on the internet, thanks to PewDiePie and Disney. So go after Disney like Ron DeSantis did. Oh, Walmart's done their fair share of that too. Walmart has, in the sense of Walmart has done its own DEI, so they've participated in that stupid stuff too. I mean, because they actually have people in their Walmart shopping complexes literally following people and watching them. And it's just to try to emulate what people do on the internet. And it's like on the internet is robots. So they literally have real people stalking customers and people in real life. It's Walmart and Walmart employees doing it. I mean, they seem to think we're stupid too. Walmart does. And so I don't know if they've put people on their payroll or what in the world they did, but Walmart has something that is a bad practice taking place, especially when their employees who work for their outside agencies and stuff, want to confront people about how they think, oh, no, you can't say that. It's like, well, you're a bad company then. Why would anybody want to use a bad company that is going to tell other people what they can and can't say, and be confrontational with people? You're violating someone else's First Amendment rights. And, so if people say they don't like DEI, there's a lot of reasons why. USAID is one of the reasons, and the money is going to other people. It's not going to American citizens. And then, so you've actually censored the voices of other people who had something to say. And so why would we want to play along with some stupid game that seemed to work for you guys and isn't doing anything for any of the rest of us? And you actually participated in problems for me that made things worse for me. I don't know that my marriage would have lasted. I don't know that it would have lasted, but I know calling the police, you guys actually made it worse. I'm surprised he didn't kill me. So I have to say, thanks to Disney, they actually contributed to making things worse for me with a story that they did. And they contributed to making things worse for me. Because then I hear every day from my husband, it's like, well, why do you have to do that stupid stuff on YouTube? Why do you have to do that stupid stuff on YouTube? If that's how it's going to be, then I want divorced. Then I want divorced. Why do you have to do that stupid stuff on YouTube? If you're going to make that stupid content on YouTube, I don't want to be married anymore. This was after the house was paid for. After the house was paid for, keep in mind. So my YouTube income actually afforded him the opportunity that he could be retired and he could make $18,000 a year. And I was making the majority of the money because at that time my YouTube channel was good. It was doing really, really good. And so I was paying a lot of the bills. And so once the house got paid off, he had his retirement, then he decided he wanted divorced. He started being physically abusive to me. And he was yelling at me during Black Lives Matter and Antifa. And so if you guys think your antagonistic stuff is working, you're contributing, those of you who are actually of mixed ethnicity or of African American, you actually make it worse on people who are married to an African American. I hope you know that. You actually have made it worse, so I mean, you are the reason for, with your sentiment of go follow people around. Go follow people around and make their life uncomfortable. And what does that do? You actually influenced my husband, who's a grown-ass geriatric man, to be physically abusive to me probably sooner than what he would have anyway. Or maybe the marriage would have worked and he would have just kicked the bucket at some point in the future. I don't know. If I could have been so lucky, he would have kicked the bucket, and then I wouldn't be homeless for over 3 years. So I'm the one who's homeless, and the judge awarded him the house. I'm the one who's homeless. So how do you think that is? How do you think that plays out for everybody? I'm talking about that we have inflation. I'm expressing to you how the algorithm works related to certain words and wordplay and things like that. And, why do I want to do that now? I really, I'll do it a little bit, but I'm not going to do it repetitively. I'm going to do it in my way, in my time, how I want to do it, not how someone else wants me to. Why would I want to? I mean, and I'm not going to show my face, The people from Africa who are from other countries, they can show their faces because they're the ones who are the scammers, who are causing problems and stealing money from people. And I say that in the sense of, like, when they tell people, oh, well, your channel's never going to make it because you've got to buy us. Well, talk to Disney. Don't talk to me. I'm not part of Disney. Go talk to Disney. So you guys need to call up Disney if you think that being a palm leaf is a real job. If you think that being a tree or a bug is a real job, you need to talk to Disney about that, because they're the ones who hire people from other countries to artificially inflate their own properties and, to repeat the words and stuff like that. I lost my income and revenue, and I'm not going to do that, so you guys go talk to Disney, not me. I'm just an individual person. So I don't know what you talk about when you talk about Call of Duty. It's a game. It's a game. I never actually had it either. I never had Call of Duty itself. I never had one of those players. I never had a player to play Call of Duty, and I wouldn't be able to play it right now anyway. And my gosh, I never would have thought either. It very well could have been from one of the church network people too. Some holier than thou person who thinks that they're Christ and God and stuff like that. Maybe they could have been one of them who's a complete buffoon asshole, um, who decided to call the police and say, "Oh, this person is," like, no, no. The we see how it works. You know, there's more people than me who don't like the Democrats. They are nothing but a sanctuary city of stupid. The people who align with them. I have nothing to say about nice to say about the Republicans either, because they're both a monopoly. You know, so if I have an opinion to say about it, um, you know, I'm tired of getting chastised by someone that's like, oh, well, you're this and you're that, and you know, you yeah, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear it. You guys do it alone. You do it by yourself. You know. Um, I, Again, let me reinforce. I'm not part of a network. I'm not getting paid to do this. Now, the people from Indonesia and the Philippines, from India, China, they're getting paid to influence elections because they think that being a YouTube subscriber and sleeping on the internet is a job. That's your foreigners right there. They're the ones who are getting paid. And it's someone from Disney like PewDiePie or someone who's hiring them to do it. That's why they think that sleeping is a job. That's why we find so many people sleeping on the internet in the middle of the night because they think it's a job. They're dumb as a sack of rocks. It's not a real job. You can't go to the United States unemployment office and say, oh, well, my job was sleeping on the internet. That's not a real job. That's the same thing I've always said, is that being gay is not a real job either, but yet when you're on TV it is. Well, let the people from India be gay. They can do it together since they think it's a real job. They can have that and they can be gay together. Especially the men, since they like oppressing women so much, let them be gay together. And so haven't we circled right back around to why the American troops and intelligence don't like people from the Middle East? You know, is it just their rhetoric they're putting out, or is it really something that they're actually doing? And I tend to believe it's something that they've actually are doing, but the United States is doing the same thing. You know, it's like, okay, well, if you're doing it here in the United States too, you're allowing inflation to take place. No wonder people are miserable in the United States. You know, I'm just telling the truth. I'm the messenger. I'm just telling you all the truth. Nobody wants to hear that part of it. You know, that the government sometimes is the problem. They don't want to hear that part. You know, and sometimes the men in the military are the problem. You know, because they have a sentiment of, oh, well, we can just say this whenever we want to because we're saying it on the internet to foreigners. And that works for them in the military. Now we're just going to say it on the internet to everybody who has a YouTube channel, and we're going to be a jerk to them just because we can. And then we're going to annihilate everyone. And I don't know what their, you know, what their purpose is. I'll come right back on them and I'll tell them they're a bunch of wimpy ass, you know, I can't say everything I want to say either without getting censored. Thanks to the United States military. You know, so if you want to look at it like that, they contributed in censorship too, with all the cursing they're doing and going around to different places and talking about adult topics and what they want to do to kids and stuff like that. They keep talking. Well, actually, you know what I was thinking though? If you're putting those people from foreign countries on the internet, they're the ones who are talking about that all the time too, what they want to do to little kids and little boys. Kind of like what Doc Compton talks about. I mean, they talk about it an awful lot. Why aren't they being investigated? So if they're talking about it that much, they need to be investigated as to why do you think they're talking about it that much? Or is it just supposed to be some deterrent tactic that they do to each other just because they're a bunch of old-ass geriatric men who are acting like a bunch of children on the internet, because I'm inclined to think that they're a bunch of grown-ass men acting like children on the internet, just calling each other names between the countries. And, it's like, okay, well, no wonder we get that kind of dumb stuff on the internet. Hey, you went and played Call of Duty. Okay, you played Call of Duty. I don't know what that is. I've never played Call of Duty before. I've never played that game. I don't have the means to play it either. I know it's based off the United States military, though. Search up Call of Duty on your game store. You'd love to have a big what right now? Did you say something about you need a big sock or something like that? You need a big sock stuffed in your mouth? Because I have a feeling I'm dealing with the grown-ass geriatric children right now again. I think that's what I'm dealing with, is the grown-ass children. Hello, FBI. So you can go stuck a sock in it. So if you want to, your Call of Duty is you need to stuff a sock in it. You pedophilia fuck. You big pedophilia fuck. A big log, but that guy. Yeah, you big pedophilia fuckhead. Oh my gosh, I'd love to say so much more. Because I'll meet you guys where you're at, but it's just going to be you and me cursing at each other. That's all it's going to be. It's not going to really, it's not like we really have real conversations about anything anyway. I have conversations with myself about real things, such as inflation. Now, the United States military intelligence has a very, very low IQ, because that all they want to talk about is sex abuse, pedophilia, Hillary Clinton being gay. If I'm thinking they can't even try to raise their intelligence. For God's sake, they put in Kash Patel. They lowered their military IQ intelligence by hiring Kash Patel. They made their IQ lower. The FBI made their... Now, who can actually do that other than the United States government? They lowered their own IQ by hiring Kash Patel as the director. And the country did the same thing when they put Donald Trump in as president. They probably lowered in double digits their IQ. Open up your freaking door, and I open up FBI, open up. No, open up my door, and I won't see the FBI. What door is that? I highly doubt that the FBI is that interested in me. Because the only thing that happens then is the dumbass illegals on the internet pretend that there's something that they're not, and they just repeat things, and they're a bunch of dumbass idiots who need to be arrested and sent back to their own country. That's what I'd say. They need to be arrested and sent back to their own country. And you could take Kash Patel with you too. Take your low IQ people back to your own country. I'm tired of them. Okay, you think you're involved with who and whose huge log? You think Kash Patel has a huge log? You think Kash Patel has a huge log? I was thinking it would be more like a little tiny peanut, or more like a mustard seed. That's probably the place where Kash Patel's log is at, is that of the mustard seed. Or Johnny Appleseed. It's a tiny little Tic Tac. Your Kash Patel Tic Tac is, Oh, the guy who looks like your ex? I'm not involved with him. Oh, you think you're involved with him? Oh, why do you think you're involved with him? Why would you be involved with him? I don't like my ex. I hate him with a passion. And I have a right to feel that way. You know, people tell me, oh, you're just going to make yourself. It's like, no, 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 no. I'm tired of listening to you people. It's like, I know how to deal with things because, you know, we could say the same thing about when my baby died. We can say the same thing and say, oh, you're just going to make yourself miserable with all this, there's a time and a process that takes place for people who are healing over domestic abuse, over injuries, and, things not going how we thought that they would go. And there's a big, big, long time period. And this has actually sent me into it sent me into a big, big depression. It also sent me into a learning about something that actually takes more time than when my baby died, because it's like I'm just stuck in the bullshit right now. I'm just stuck in the sewer, stuck in the bullshit of a bunch of fuckery. I don't know who the guy that my ex is. I'm actually not going to get involved with anybody like my ex anymore, and I don't care that you you can say whatever you want to say. I'm not getting involved with that crap anymore. You know, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in that bullshit. You know, one day maybe I'll get involved with some nice white man, some old-fashioned nice white man. That's all I want. One day, if I decide to go there. But I'm just not there yet. You know. And there's too much dumb fucks around where I'm at right now. There are a bunch of dumbass, dumb shit fucks. Some of them are retired too. They're old ass geriatric men acting stupid. So the transient place where I'm at right now, a bunch of dumbass people who they lower the IQ of humanity as well. I don't even know how they function actually. And not all get fired. If I was actually a manager or a CEO of this place, I'd fire every single one of them. Every one of them, I'd fire them all. Actually, you know what I'd do? For the sake of not getting sued for some type of job discrimination, I would shut down my whole business so that everybody gets fired, and then change the name of it, and then hire different people. So if you have to play it that way, where you have to fire, because that's what they do with managers. They fire all the managers at the same time so they don't know which one is the problem child, even though they really know which one is the problem child. So I know the area where I'm at, the schools actually did that, but my ex-husband, he actually um, did that, or they did that to him. They fired all the managers at the same time, pretty much. They let them all go, and then they hire the ones back that they like. But yeah, and so I don't know about the thing. If he's out of jail and involved with some woman, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. I would have thought the state would have done something, because now someone else, there was some stupid woman the other day, about 2 weeks ago, and she was actually telling me, she's like, oh, I bet you didn't press charges against him. And it's like, well, what am I supposed to do to press charges against him? Um, because nobody told me anything else that I was supposed to do. And why is it my responsibility? Why do we have police if we put these things through the court system? I am not an attorney. I am not a police officer. I don't know how any of this works. I'm not a district attorney. And the thing is, the district attorneys seem stupid as a sack of shit. The ones that we currently have, if that's all the better they can function, that they can only put certain people to convict on crimes, why do we need them then? If they're going to let people out of prison and out of jails, and someone is dating my ex-husband, that's not my problem. He's going to beat the fucking shit out of them too. The next time he might kill someone. That's just how it's going to be. I don't have any control over that. And this dumbass bitch last week that was telling me, she was sitting in her car and telling me, oh, I bet you didn't press charges against him. Now, if I would have told her his ethnicity, she would have been saying something like, oh, you're one of those who is going to make things harder on my people. But I didn't use the wording of what ethnicity he was. And she's like, I bet you didn't press charges on him. So she was just making the assumption that I'm some stupid, naive, submissive white lady. Because she probably looked at my YouTube channel to, kind of figure that out. So she's going to make the assumption that I'm married to some white guy and that he was my ex-husband. So it's a damned if you do and you're damned if you do when it comes to a lot of this DEI bullshit. And they're the ones that are discriminating. So if you're going to say white people are discriminating all the time, I'm going to throw it right back out there. Black people discriminate all the time, and they have actually admitted it. I've never really known anyone to discriminate because I thought it was something that was done in the workplace. That's what I thought it was. I thought discrimination and the laws were created for the workplace so people could get into jobs, and that included women too, didn't it? Oh, so it's a guy who took your ex, so your ex is gay now? Is that what you're saying? That he's gay? So yesterday it was a woman stole your ex, and now today it's a guy stole your ex? Okay. That's what it looks like. Jericho was saying that he's involved with the ex now. Jericho likes men apparently, so